Ready Check Radio.
Stand by as we get ready to serve up all your news this week in the world of gaming. Welcome to Gaming Gumbo. What's up, Internet? Welcome to Gaming Gumbo, your weekly gaming wrap-up podcast brought to you by Ready Check Radio. Welcome. It's Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That means we're live on twitch.tv/ReadyCheckRadio, RAIDEO. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com. Make sure you click on all the socials in the upper right-hand corner and click like and follow and notify and subscribe and get your friends and spread the word and all that stuff. We'd like to continue growing. We need your help to do that. We are running right now a little bit of a promo thing. If you go check out the Relic Grind that aired this Thursday and you give the YouTube video a like, if we hit 25 likes, we will actually do a stream where we make Yoshi P's cookies that he streamed making on Twitch, so we can see how that works out. But it's got to get 25 YouTube likes. Head on over to the site and click like on that YouTube video. Much appreciated. But we've got a lot to talk about today, including some Mass Effect news, some Resident Evil Village news, some other Resident Evil news, maybe not so good, and we're going to talk about how we all feel about early access and pre-orders. Joining me, as always, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
So I've actually got a question for you.
Oh,
for everybody here.
I'm delighted. Go ahead.
Is this not the cutest little cleaver you've ever seen in your life?
That is a pretty cute little cleaver. Where the hell did you get that?
Well, you have one too.
Oh, do I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it in the Magic Legends thing?
Yeah, it's in that little Magic Legends thing. It wasn't a knife. We saw it packaged up.
Yeah, I thought it was a knife.
It's a little cleaver. To chop up your
Is
sausage
that
or your
thing actually
cheese or whatever.
sharp?
Oh yeah, it's quite sharp. I don't know if you can see the edge there. See, it's got a little
Interesting.
bevel there.
That is a cute little cleaver. I have no idea where mine is. The night you messaged me
Said I was trying it.
saying that you were trying it and it was actually pretty good, I was going to get mine and I can't find it. Somebody moved it. So somewhere in my house, there's meat and cheese wrapped in plastic, rotting with the cutest cleaver and cutting board ever.
It was probably Tiki.
Yeah, nobody knows where the hell it is. Also on the line, resident Ready Check Radio artist Yad. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. Going crazy, drawing more stuff.
Yeah, you got Val. She's kind of appearing in all the artwork. You're gonna notice over the next week or so. Actually, I think I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So we'll have probably the normal shows next week. We're gonna take shows off the week of the 18th. I'll be getting a new desktop that I had built finally. So
very nice.
I'll be doing a bunch of file moving. We'll still have all the normal streams like me and Jason and Faye and Liminality Carb and Torchwick and everybody. Those will happen, but we won't have shows that week while I transfer files. And we're going to have a surprise for everybody with some updated 2021 graphics already on all the shows. We'll get Val a little more present in those. Yeah, that was just like Yad just, hey, do you like this? Yeah, I do. Do you want to use it? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could use it, but, I can't really just be affording to pay you for things you randomly mail me. Oh, no. Just use these. They're 2021 updates. Use these. Oh, okay, I'll use them.
Yeah.
I'll bill you later.
Right. Yeah, I'll get a bill in the mail.
We'll work that out some other time. You just owe me one.
Speaking of things upcoming, maybe not in my mail, but upcoming, Yad, you've got to be excited. No, I don't pay with exposure. That's bullshit. I pay with straight cash when I commission artists, whether it's Yad or
true.
somebody else.
Yeah, that is very true. And
I tried.
he did not commission this stuff, therefore he doesn't have to pay for it.
Right.
I just want the channel to grow.
Right.
I tried to pay with exposure once, but they told me to put my pants back on.
The officer wasn't very happy.
No, he was not.
What are we even talking about today? Yad, you got to be pretty happy. We're getting more and more info as we head into May. We're going to do a little segment right now about some things coming up in May. Some biggies. We're getting more and more
Yeah.
information on the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. In particular, pretty big dev blog dumped on the site for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, going through a ton of revised things that are happening in the Legendary Edition. Right now we're watching, I believe it's IGN's footage to give credit where due, of some of the original versus the Legendary Edition. But they put a ton of stuff here, Yad. As you worked your way through it, what did you like the most? What are you a little concerned about? What are you super excited about? Because you are less than a month away from this, right? It's like May 7th, I think?
Yeah. Well, I heard recently that the Legendary Edition went Gold Master,
Yep.
so they're ready to ship.
Yep.
But I do really like the graphics update. Obviously,
May 14th. Sorry, by the way. May
Yeah.
14th.
The fixes on Mass Effect 1 to bring it up to par with the other one, the 2 and 3, and of course the fact that you don't have to play multiplayer, or actually you can't play multiplayer, but you don't have to do the multiplayer or the off game app to get up to par on Mass Effect 3. Um, I'm a little weary about the. I mean, I love the games.
Yeah.
And I love the shooting. I love the story. I was never that great at all the exploring stuff. It just took too much time for me. I wanted to shoot things.
Oh, see, that's why I loved Mass Effect 1.
Yeah.
And then Mass Effect 2 was very different for me because it focused more towards you than towards me from there on out.
So, the whole gathering and all that stuff's gonna be a little annoying to me, but I realize that there's other people that enjoy other aspects of it. So,
and the original Mass Effect in this set, by the way, is the one that's had the most tweaks as far as exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
Gunplay, aiming down sights, abilities. Shepard can now sprint out of combat.
Yep.
Thank God.
All
of those, that everything feels like they're tightening up versus the original on the combat. Now, they have made some changes to, 2 and 3, but specifically 1, there were quite a few changes on exactly this front, Jason.
And your squad mates actually listen to you. That's also very important.
So yeah, I just did a search. I searched for how many times first is in that article, and it's 15 times. 12 of them actually referencing the first game specifically. Like, we changed this in the first game. We tightened this from the first game.
Right, and to be clear, it isn't that squad mates didn't listen to you in the first one. It's that when you had multiple companions, they were ordered around as a group in the first one. And in Mass Effect 2 and 3, you could order them around individually. They have added that to Mass Effect 1.
Go that way.
Yeah. So now in Mass Effect 1, your squad mates can all be commanded independently of each other. Jason, they did quite a bit here, too, on actually the creation of Shepard, kind of standardizing a lot of the appearance stuff. They also went in and added the Mass Effect Genesis comics by Dark Horse. So if you don't want to start with number 1 because you're Yod and that's just too much exploration for you, you want to jump straight to 2, you can go ahead and simulate the decisions from Mass Effect 1 so that your character is already evolved a little bit for number 2.
I get that, but it seems a little cheap. Like, why are you buying all 3 games over if you're not going to play the first?
You also don't get the points. That's the whole thing with eliminating the multiplayer mode and the third-party app, where you get Galaxy points for the third game. Is if you don't play the first 2, you don't get the points for it. So you have to hit every single point to get that good ending at 3. If you play all 3, it's a little easier to, get max resources and get that good ending that you want.
FemShep, if you're a fan of FemShep from 3, that has been implemented in 1 and 2. However, for those of you that maybe liked the original character creation options on the female side of FemShep, you still have the originals to choose from. This is just an addition to number 1 and number 2 to give you the FemShep options in number 1 and 2 that were available in 3. And then we get to kind of like the bigger overall picture, Jason, like the entire galaxy at war being rebalanced. like everything. So all of your choices across the trilogy lead you to the end, right? The Galaxy at War feature puts you in the heart of the Reaper War from the Normandy's Combat Information Center, which has been rebalanced in the Legendary Edition. And they give an example here. Galactic readiness is no longer impacted by external factors that aren't part of the collection, like multiplayer or the old companion app for Mass Effect 3. However, that doesn't necessarily mean defeating the Reapers will be easy. The more content you complete across the entire trilogy, the more likely you'll be prepared for the final fights in its conclusion. So not only these little improvements, well, I shouldn't say little, they're quite substantive, actually. All of these changes across the board, from character creation to gunplay to exploration to gameplay to graphics to all of this, then that whole package gets revamped as far as an overarching story in this Galaxy at War, difficulty-wise, in accordance to all of these new settings, not just, hey, we're going to make all these changes to the core systems, but the overall picture looks the same. Well, then wouldn't that make the overall picture easier? No, not necessarily. We're going to revamp that portion too.
Right.
Yeah, and I was the kind of guy who I just went through it all, and I didn't care like what the exact best way to do it was. I was just like, unlike Yacht, I went ahead and did the side quests. So all I cared about was doing everything, interacting with all the people.
I did everything too, but
making the one Asari green, whatever it was. So, but yeah, I'm the kind of guy I would have to play through it all again. Maybe that's not. Maybe I don't know. I wouldn't buy this if I wasn't planning to play them all. So I don't.
Right.
Good for people who aren't going to. But you're gonna get your ass kicked by the Reapers. Then
I'm still on the fence. I'm still on the fence because when the originals came out, like I said, and I've said it before multiple times on the show, I loved Mass Effect 1, and that whole exploration aspect really catered to me. And I don't generally like just more sandboxy exploration games, but Mass Effect 1, like the story moved along at a pace that I was fine with, and then like in my brain, like if you explore the galaxy, right, you get in a ship and you go, 99.9% of the places you land, you ain't seeing shit. Like, and I know how boring that sounds from a video game front, but realistically, that's what would happen if you took off from Earth and just started landing on planets. And so I like that. I like that aspect. I actually never played Mass Effect 3 or Andromeda. Well, no, I take that back. I played Andromeda a little bit, but I didn't beat it. I never played Mass Effect 3. I got about halfway through 2, and I kind of fell out of it. So I'm still on the fence on whether or not I personally pick this one up. I love the series. I love the concept. I love the lore. But I don't know if the games actually hold enough for me. It's like a love-hate thing. I don't know if I want to buy this, Jason. It sounds like you're a definite buy, though.
No, I'm kind of iffy because I've already played them. So it's like, I don't know if I really want to do them again and buy the new thing. What you do then, Mike, just play a combat character and be renegade the whole way through. Just be an ass. It's like punch and shoot everything. There you go.
Just punch and shoot and kick my way through it. Yod, obviously,
exactly the way to do it.
You wanted the whole $9 bajillion collector's set if you had unlimited funds.
If it came with the game.
Right.
If it came with the game. That was my big thing. If it came with the game, I would have bought it. But doesn't... Oh, bye, kitty. It didn't come with the game, so I didn't get it. Now my only question is, do I get it on a PS4 or the computer? Because they do have the option for ultra wide now, and I do have an ultra wide monitor, so I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, I think you get it on the computer. I think if you're gonna get it on console at this point, I think you get it on next gen console. If you don't have a next gen console right now, you buy it on PC. I think.
Right. I think that's where I'm going. I do believe that's where
we'll see. A little over a month.
Yeah.
A little over a month away. And for those of you that have fetishes for 9 foot 6 inch tall women, boy, do we have some news for you today. 9 feet 6 inches tall. Of course,
my segment, obviously.
Yeah, this is, we had Yod's corner last week. This is Jason's corner this week. I don't know if it's Jason's corner or if this is Jason's BDSM den. I don't know what we'll call it. We'll call it something.
Yeah,
same thing.
There.
Same thing. We are, of course, talking about Lady Demetrio in Resident Evil Village. IGN had a piece a few days ago talking about the evolution of this character that's kind of captivated Resident Evil fans lately, particularly when we got to play the Maiden demo? Is that what it's called? Maiden?
I think so.
I think it was called, I don't know, Maiden,
Yeah.
something like that. The demo.
Yeah, the demo.
This one coming out early May as well, so we're going to see this in about a month. Very excited for this. Always, I love Resident Evil, and this game's been looking great. But
Very excited.
yeah, but Our Lady has she's really, really taken off for a game that isn't even out yet. And so IGN got a chance to sit down and talk to the development team about the creation of this character and where she came from, why she's like this height. And it's very funny. Like, they started, if you read this piece, and I'd highly recommend you do, over on IGN, Resident Evil Village, the evolution of Lady Dimitrescu. Yeah, Lady.
The
lady.
They should put her first name there. Just call her Alcina.
Yeah, just Alcina. There we go. That's easier. Lady Alcina. And her daughters. They didn't start as just her and her daughters, Jason. This started as basically a haunted house with hundreds of naked witches, was their original idea.
And then they were like, we actually want to be able to sell this.
Right.
People.
Although you got to love this development approach. They were like, all right, what are we going to do with this story? Where are we going to take things? All right, how about a haunted castle with hundreds of naked witches? And it was this huge, big thing. And then they started looking at, well, this is actually really hard to animate.
Yeah.
Don't know if it'll sell at that point because it's just a bunch of naked witches running around. It would have sold, by the way. It would have sold.
It would have totally sold.
It 100% would have sold.
But the processing power for a castle full of naked witches running around was not feasible at the time.
Right. So they get to like their whole mentality, which was, let's imagine it big and grandiose and ridiculous, and then just start scaling back the bits that we need to before they finally land on essentially a mega vampire character and her three daughters. And they started, what's really funny to me about this one was when they were doing the design for Lady here, they actually started with the main female protagonist in the original, her character model in Resident Evil 7, and started modifying just costumes and put a hat on her and stuff. And they liked where it was going, but then all of a sudden, Jason, they were like, she's not scary. So how do you make a woman scary? Apparently, their answer was just make her bigger.
They just hit the scaling tool on their graphic design thing and just...
For those of you that want to know, Yad, I know you are, as an artist, you definitely want to know. We now have not just her height, but also her shoe size. 44 centimeters, 17.3 inches. That's double the average woman's shoe size.
For research purposes, right?
Yeah, research purposes.
What I like about that is it mentioned that there was actually a world record holder for the world's largest feet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She beats him by 4 centimeters.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Rodriguez Hernandez's feet in the Guinness Book of World Records are beaten by 4 centimeters.
Yep.
Designed ladies' shoes based on a real pair of high heels, which were scanned and resized digitally to match the giantess' formidable height. But we didn't go all the way to Capcom's Osaka headquarters just to talk about feet. Yeah, you did.
Right.
Yeah, you did. Because the memes are step on me, step on me, step on me. And now you know exactly the size of the clodhopper Yod that's going to be stepping on you. It's actually really a very interesting piece. And I'm going to give you what we were just talking about here. The original concept was a castle populated by only women. It's later in the story that they mentioned they were supposed to be nude. Yeah. We tried a lot of different things in order to make the Countess scary and feel like a boss character. There were ideas to make her more creature-like as well. But in the end, we felt that a towering woman was the most simple yet powerful thing we could do. I felt that just doing a gothic aesthetic would be a bit lacking in originality, which is why I wanted to add a modern idea to that premise. We looked at fashion from that era in which actresses like Audrey Hepburn were active, as well as the Addams family. We used these sources as hints to create a less conventional gothic setting. The castle, of course, getting a little bit of love in here, Jason, too. for a piece that, if you on its surface has nothing in there, for those of you that are waiting for this game like I am and want more information on the game, this was a very, very interesting read.
Yeah, they got a lot of info in there but really just by focusing on her without getting into like massive details about the game itself, which is a great way to do that sort of thing without having to have expectations then for the game.
Yod, Resident Evil brother. This is a must buy, right?
It is, yes. I it looks like a really fun game, other than the fact that there's a 9-foot woman chasing after you all the time.
I'll tell you what, they got it. She is frightening.
Yeah, quite
She
frightening.
is frightening.
She's
She's got that like whole sex appeal frightening thing going on at the same time.
Was it in our Discord or somewhere else that I saw the Russian basketball player cosplaying as her?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
That was in
she's
Ready Check
6'9",
Radio's Discord.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
I might
just
have pulled that article,
a little under 3 feet away, but the cosplay looked phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. This is absolutely a must buy for me. I'm very interested to see, like, we already know that the events of Resident Evil 7 lead into this. We're not entirely sure on the timing between the two. We're going to see Ethan and what the hell is his wife's name? I can't remember her name. We're going to see Ethan's wife. Then we see Chris as well. Chris Redfield plays into this. Like, I want to know, from the way the first game, Resident Evil 7, ended, what happened? What the hell? How did we get here? How did we get here? I can't wait to boot it up for the first time. This is a definite must-buy for me. Jason, what about you?
I've never played a Resident Evil game before. So
Not a single one.
Not a single. I might have played the first one a little bit. Like I had it on the original PlayStation for a while, but yeah.
Now, I keep asking everybody on these games, are they must-buys or not? Because we're going to talk briefly about something in a few minutes, now that you know whether or not some of us are going to buy some of these games. What I do have to point out before we leave Resident Evil, though, is that Resident Evil Reverse was running the open beta. This is the multiplayer game. We talked about it a few weeks ago, or maybe even longer than that ago. They tweeted out just 2 days ago regarding the Reverse open beta test. As we're still seeing issues with Reverse open beta test matchmaking service for a multiplayer matchmaking required game, we have decided that until further notice to temporarily suspend the open beta test to resolve the problems. We will continue to investigate, and we apologize for any inconvenience caused. So if you were actually taking part in that test or looking forward to maybe taking part in that test, I know generally a lot of us aren't like super high on this actually being good because most of the other multiplayer Resident Evil stuff is total caca. But we're going to have to wait a little while longer. Like, imagine building a game so bad, Jason, when it launches, you have to unlaunch it.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14, excuse me.
Crucible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's not...
The difference is that people kind of actually wanted those games.
True. You do have to respect, though, that they put it in open beta, and they were like, okay, it's broken, let's take it back out of open beta. At least it was open beta, not launch. So... We'll see. I don't know. There's no timelines for anything right now, Yod, but it's not looking good for those that were interested in Reverse.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's going to really disappoint at least like 3 or 4 people.
Now, well, they did bring it back up a little bit. Today's open beta test, they did this today, about 10 hours ago, has ended. Thank you to all who participated. We didn't really get any results on that one. Like if there was, I assume, better matchmaking and things like that again. But I don't know. We'll see. CP 2000 or 2077 was kind of unlaunched thanks to Sony. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
See, this is why you come to the live show, because Chad is on
Hey, there's
point.
our mention for the week. All right.
There it is. We got it in. Mad Martha
Thank you,
keeping us on
fulfilled
point.
the quota.
Originally slated to be released in May, but no longer coming out in May. In fact, delayed until September 14th. And this is the second delay for this game. PS5 exclusive Deathloop. Bethesda, we need a little more time. We've made the decision to delay the launch of Deathloop to September 14th, 2021. We're committed to quality and preserving our team's ambitions for Deathloop while ensuring the health and safety of everyone at Arcane. We'll be using this extra time to accomplish our goal, create a fun, stylish, and mind-bending player experience. We apologize for the extended wait, and thank you all for your passion and excitement. It is the fuel that powers our creativity and our hard work. We can't wait to show you more Deathloop soon, and that's from game director Dinga Bakaba, the art director Sebastian Mitten, and the Arcane Lion team as a whole. So if you were looking forward to Deathloop, you got another couple of months. You got another 5 months. Pretty substantive delay there from May until September. 4 months.
And I'm a little worried too when I get games being delayed because they need more time to finish it. All right, I get that. That's fine.
Yeah.
It worries me a little bit when it's a game that has some innovative, cool thing to it.
Yeah,
It's like makes you wonder,
right?
Yeah, it's like we promised this great thing, and they promised this great thing like a year ago. We're gonna get it in the game, and then they get around to putting it in the game, and we're like, maybe we can't do this. All right, let's just delay it. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. Don't worry.
You get what we call the EverQuest Next effect. This is going to be really innovative. This is cool. Oh shit! It's not. None of it's fun.
we can't make it happen.
We can't make it work, and none of it's fun. It is a little concerning, and this is one that's been mildly on my radar since we first saw it a while ago. I'm not generally into a huge amount of first-person shooters. But this one, I was like, I kind of like that concept. I kind of like what they're doing with this. I want to try this out. And so having it delayed once, okay. Having it delayed again, and it's another 4-month delay. A lot can obviously be accomplished in 4 months, but only if you're at a certain point, Yad. If there are system issues, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If you're talking about polish on frame rate, okay, fine. Yeah, 4 months could obviously do a lot on that type of front. But if core concepts aren't working or aren't functioning right, 4 months is almost nothing as far as that. And we don't know the status. Maybe it is just the whole polish, and we don't want to have a Fallout 76 or a Cyberpunk thing. You know what? Let's take 4 more months of straight QA. Great.
Right.
That could be beneficial. But you've already delayed it once. And now you're backing it into a time period. September is right around when we start seeing, all the major yearly first-person shooter releases, Call of Duties, things like that. Now you're backing yourself right into their release window.
And they haven't released what's wrong with it or what they need to finish up. So that's a little worrisome. Because normally, if it's nothing big, the company will just say, it's nothing big, or, we just want to put a little more spit shine on it or something. But
yeah, this was kind of an evasive.
Yeah,
we just want to continue reaching our vision, Jason. Fun, stylish game. Okay, what's stopping you right now? So, not in May anymore. That concludes all of our May news, everybody.
Okay.
Now, I did ask all of you about particular games, which ones you want, because I want to talk generally about the culture now, right, in gaming, whether that's early access or pre-orders or pre-order bonuses or exclusive bonuses for pre-ordering at GameStop or Spider-Man for pre-ordering on the PlayStation or blah, 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 blah. There was a time, gentlemen, where I pretty much pre-ordered every game I knew I was going to buy.
Yep.
This was years ago. I mean, I don't say it like it's 30 years ago or anything. It's like 6-7 years ago. If I'm buying that game, I'm going to pre-order it. Put my $5 down or whatever, go pick it up on release day, midnight release, or whatever was running. And I've noticed that over the years, I have been pre-ordering far less. I've been getting into early accesses far less. Now, I have a few reasons for my personal decisions here with the old wallet, but I'd like to get yours first. Jason, when's the last time you pre-ordered a game? Have you ever generally been a pre-orderer or going after a particular exclusive by pre-ordering with a particular company or on a particular platform? I know you might be a little cynical today, but I'm talking about in the past. Was it generally a habit you indulged in that you don't anymore? Maybe you still do a little bit. Where do you stand on how this all works these days?
I mean, first off, I've only generally been a one platform kind of guy. Like I only had a PlayStation and a PlayStation 2, and then when that was getting old, I got my PC. So it's like, and that's what I've used mostly. We have a PS4 in the house, but I barely use that. So in terms of platform exclusive stuff, I kind of go with what I can get, and I deal with it. And it's not the greatest, but if I'm going to get that sort of thing, then whatever, then I'll live.
So you've never been like tempted to get an Xbox because there's a better package on 2 games this year that you know you're really going to want than on Sony. That's never done. Like it's never moved a console for you. Or anything.
It's like a skin or something like that. If it is something like Spider-Man for Avengers, then I'm probably not going to buy the game because I think that's a crappy way to do it.
Yeah.
Then I'll just be mad and not buy the game out of spite. So, yeah. Now, in terms of when the last time I pre-ordered, that would be last year.
Okay.
Can you guess? Can you guess what it was?
Last year. Probably Crusader Kings 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
So my rule, but I didn't pre-order until like August. So it came out September 1st. Then maybe it was late July, early August. And my rule with pre-ordering or with early access is this: I'll only do that if I will be happy with the game when it launches, when it's available to me. I don't buy it based on, oh, in a few months they're going to add this or they're going to add that,
right?
Or even if I can deal with it being buggy or whatever. If I can deal with that, if I think it's fine, if I think I really like the concept or whatever, then I will pre-order. I think the last thing I pre-ordered before that was probably Guild Wars 2. Which I knew I was going to play.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I did pre-order Total War Rome 2, and that turned out badly. But yeah, for Guild Wars 2, that was something I'd followed for years, and I knew I was going to buy it. And the point is, do your research on it before you're going to pre-order. If you think if it looks like a solid company, if it looks like a solid game, watch the videos or whatever, so on and so forth. Some people I think are just like, oh, here's a game with vampires and schoolgirls, whatever. I like those. I'm going to pre-order. Here are my $60.
Yeah.
They don't even care what's going to go in it. They're just like. Or they see one trailer video for like 2 minutes and they're like, yeah, I'll fling my money at it. It's like, no, that's a bad way to do things.
Mad Barth in chat saying, regardless of launch type, nowadays I try to find a Twitch stream and see it for myself before purchasing.
Yeah,
Ninja Panda's the other side of the
part,
coin.
yeah.
I only pre-order a game if it comes with something interesting. Well, I mean, you only pre-order a game if it comes with... that's like, if it comes with something interesting, I'm going to pre-order it.
But that's sort of their point. That's why they do that. That's why they throw in that stuff. Because if they're just going to try, it's $60 to get this game earlier. What if I buy it late? It's still $60. No, of course they're going to do that. Of course they're going to put something interesting in. That's the entire point. So yeah, it's.
What do you got, Yod? Where do you fall on this?
If it's a game that I know I'm going to play and I'm going to be playing with people they have to keep up with, I'll pre-order. Like the last time I pre-ordered something was Destiny 2.
So you're a little peer pressure bitch.
Depends. Because, I mean, at the time, it was also coming off of Destiny 1, which there was a large group of us playing.
Yeah.
And, we knew we were all going into it. We knew we were all going to start together and all that stuff. So, it was going to happen one way or another. I kind of like pre-order bonuses, but a lot of times they're not really worth it because you can get the digital extra version or whatever for the same price later on. So, and especially after the burn that was Anthem and other games where
we've seen that's the whole thing. Like we've seen so much of that over the last 2 or 3 years.
Right,
of just like Anthem burning people, Destiny 2 even burning people.
It did.
Destiny burning people.
Destiny
when the
did,
and it took Taken King to make Destiny 1 good.
Right, and personally, even though I am a big Destiny fan, I really love the storyline and the lore and all that stuff. Well, before the current stuff, it was all lore. There was no story. But I really enjoy that stuff. But the original Destiny was part of the problem. They set the standard for, well, if you release it, they'll play it and they'll keep playing it and paying stuff for it until it's good. And all you got to do is keep stringing them along.
A lot of mine lately over the years has come down to specific companies, Jason. And I don't know if this is thing like Final Fantasy 16, right? I'm going to pre-order that. No question. It's just not a question for me. That's going to be a pre-order for
Right.
me. But I don't pre-order everything from Square, even though I do like them as a company. Near Replicant, I'm not going to pre-order that. I'm just going to go buy that, when I'm ready.
Right.
And a lot of it comes with that culture of, well, we'll get their money now. And I've been screwed too many times, so have all of us, by a company not following through on anything, or some projects just flat out going away. Where
Right.
you spend money on something and then 6 months in, it's gone. That whole promise of what it might be that you spoke to, Jason, we've just been burnt by it so many times. It's a greedy culture. I don't pre-order anything Activision Blizzard does. Nothing. I play their games. Not all of them, but I play their games, but I don't pre-order anything from them.
I did slightly pre-order like Overwatch like a week before it came out. Now that I think of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, APB. Yeah, good call, Mad Martha.
Yeah.
Good call.
But Overwatch, again, like Overwatch is something that I saw a lot of streams of, and I thought this looks really cool. I can't wait to play it. So, I thought it looked fine from what I was seeing of people playing it.
So on our original topics, I will not be pre-ordering Mass Effect. I have, Jason, seen enough from Resident Evil 8, Resident Evil Village, whatever you want to call it, and comfortable enough with most of Capcom's financial decisions that I'm probably going to pre-order that one. If there is some type of bonus, whatever, here's a big hat for the lady. I don't know. If there's no bonuses, then no, I'm not going to pre-order it. But they are going to get my money. So on
Comes
those,
with a 44 centimeter high heel.
right. You just get those high heels.
Just
right.
They couldn't fit two in the box.
Yeah. It's generally an interesting topic. I just think early access, by the way, I hate early access at this point. I know we focus mainly on pre-orders here, but that other fake term, early access, that has got to go. Covering so many things for MMO Bomb that are in early access for longer than it takes me to get 2 haircuts. It's just absolutely absurd, the abuses that early access goes by, where it doesn't even have to be fully functional like at least Destiny 1 was. It might not have been entertaining yet, but it was functional.
Right.
We see the early access title just abused.
Yeah, see my stream for the bus a couple weeks ago?
All right, let's finish up with some random news here. Age of Empires 4 getting some love coming up here. That's releasing this summer, I think? Something like that. There we go. Sorry, I wanted to get the B-roll on there. Yeah, August.
Autumn.
Oh, autumn. Sorry, autumn. My bad. I am a huge Age of Empires guy, but disclaimer, Age of Empires 2, back when I had dial-up. That was when I played Age of Empires. I do remember, Jason, that we played some online free-to-play one, didn't we, for MMO Bomb at some point? That was available overseas, but wasn't mass. You could play it from the United States, but it wasn't mass marketed to the United States or something. I feel like there was a free-to-play Age of Empires.
I think there was one, but I never personally played it.
Was there one? I don't know. Yeah, there was. Age of Empires Online. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I never played it, but
I seem to remember playing it for MMO Bomb. But we are getting Age of Empires 4. You're seeing right now in the video, if you're an Age of Empires fan, there's a little bit of difference going on here as far as not only the aesthetic, which is fine, modern updates to it. I never played Age of Empires 3, so to me, this is like a huge leap, right? The last thing I've seen is Age of Empires 2 and some of its expansions. So looking at this, I'm like, wow, they've come a long way. Well, they probably should have. It's been like 20 years since Age of Empires 2. But I used to play this online via dial-up against friends all the time, including against my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. So, yes, I am super pumped for this. There are changes. We've got additional civilizations. We don't have all of them revealed for us yet. Not all of them are revealed for us. We do have a number of the campaigns that are going to be available, but again, not all of them. And on top of this, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition is getting an expansion this summer That amazed me because I'm like, the last time I looked at Age of Empires 2, I don't know what I was even looking at. And Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition on April 13th is getting its first major update with the United States civilization. So all in all, if you're an Age of Empires fan, it's going to be a good couple of months for you. It's going to be a really good couple of months for you. Jason, I got to imagine you with Total War and Rome and all of that stuff. You have played and mastered every single Age of Empires, right?
Never.
Son of a bitch.
I love just doing that to you. You always just assume stuff about me. Like, nope. No, Age of Empires 1 I've just never gotten into because it just, I don't know why. It just hasn't been on my radar that much. It's kind of secondary to the Total War and the Civilization and Crusader Kings and all that stuff. But seeing the Age of Empires 4, just seeing that footage, it's like, first of all, I'm trying to figure out what exactly you're doing. Is it a simulation game? Is it an RTS? It's like there's everything going on there. It's just crazy.
Yeah, there really is. There really is. And it is more RTS than anything. It is more RTS than
But probably explains why I haven't played it that much. If it's more like a build stuff and then send out units kind of thing. I'm not into StarCraft, that sort of stuff. So it's.
This is coming out, by the way, on PC from Steam and the Microsoft Windows Store, and it'll be available day one on the Xbox Game Pass for PC, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Yad, how are you on the old Age of Empires? Was this ever your cup of tea?
Much like you, I haven't really looked at it since the first one, ages ago, so to speak.
Ages of Empires ago?
Ages ago. Get it? Ages, yeah. Anyways, the animations look really cool, and build little houses and people and send them off to kill other people, much like StarCraft. Yeah, but not really.
Oh,
I don't think it's
Mad
something that
Martha bringing up Heroes of Might and Magic. Oh, I
Ooh,
played the
geez.
hell out of that too. Oh, the multiplayer games that were had. Oh. PlayStation is kind of working on a counterpunch to the Xbox Game Pass. This coming from David Jaffe, claimed the God of War creator, who said some sources that he knows.
Hopefully.
Ryan from Sony said there's actually news to come, but not just today, when he was asked how PlayStation will respond to Microsoft's subscription service. This was back in November. We have PlayStation Now, which is our subscription service, which is awful. And that is available in a number of markets. Now, Jaffe, who worked at PlayStation for 14 years but left, has heard rumors now that Sony's response to the Game Pass is in the works. I've said time and again that people who are writing Jim Ryan's obituary are way premature. We had the guy on the show yesterday that had made the petition to fire Jim Ryan, and I was like, dude, that's way premature because Jim Ryan doesn't owe anybody. Sony doesn't owe anybody. The truth about what's coming and what their counterpunch to Game Pass is, what I can tell you is that I know they are doing some stuff because I know people at Sony who have told me that they're going to do some stuff. There will be a response to Game Pass. What it is, we don't know. Here's what I would say I worry about. If Jim Ryan thinks the proper response to Game Pass is to emulate backwards compatibility, PS3 games, PS2, PS1, and then to also add trophies, which is what that patent suggests they're going to do, and they're also going to fold in all the movies and shit and make a streaming service, he's absolutely wrong if he thinks that mixing it with PS Now is the way to go. Obviously, Game Pass grabbing a lot of headlines lately, catching a lot of attention, and I think it was up to like 18 million subscribers the last time I saw a number. In response to Sony a while ago saying, a subscription service just doesn't work for what we want to do. PlayStation has to answer this soon. They've had the bad press side of this in... Lately, they've been funneling money and resources away from smaller development studios back to the bigger teams that they work for. We're doing, allegedly, or a remaster of The Last of Us. That game's not even 10 years old, but we're going to do a remaster of it already, sinking money into those types of projects. They're taking down the PlayStation 3 and PS Vita stores, 2,000-plus titles that'll just no longer be available, some of which were exclusive to that platform, that storefront. They're just taking those all away. We talked about that last week, I believe. And hell, some PlayStation Vita owners or developers that are still working on projects didn't even know that was going to happen, leading to some canceling the Vita version of their games flat out because they didn't know. There has to be a digital solution here or a digital counterpunch. We don't know what it is yet. Jaffe says, sources tell him there is going to be one. But what do you do? Because Game Pass has just wildly caught on fire and drastically surpassed what the PSN subscription was always doing, which generally was my preferred subscription of the two if I was only going to pick one. But now, if you told me to pick one, I think hands down I have to go with Game Pass. And then the ease of access on those titles via PC, my Xbox, or if they're in the cloud on my phone, and just I don't have to worry about what version of the damn game I have. Like, it is just incredible what they're doing with this stuff. It seems like Microsoft dead on, and Sony falling behind for the first time in a while on this race. But I don't know where they go, Jason. Any ideas?
So clearly they need to buy another Bethesda or someone so they can make they have exclusive games on their thing. So, I mean, I'm not a console guy, so I don't really know the exact intricacies of what's the difference between PS Now and Xbox Game Pass. But yeah, they have to make some sort of big move. I think that's gonna grab the headlines back from Xbox and Microsoft and get them bringing on more subscribers.
Yod, what can they do? Like, what would entice you? Game Pass is enticing. Even if you don't own an Xbox, Game Pass is enticing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's the entire thing, is that I've been a PS4 guy. I like the architecture. I like how it was set up. And, I'm still running off of the Gen 1 PS4 because it just works.
Yeah.
But, I was estimating that eventually I'd upgrade to a PS5 and all that stuff. But with how Game Pass works and stuff, do I really? Or do I just get a Game Pass and play on, my PC?
Yeah.
Or get a Xbox Series X, if I want that faster processor, or upgrade my computer. But that's neither here nor there. But I mean, you got to do something, because at this point, especially with closing of the Vita store and closing of the PS3 store, like you said, you're losing a whole bunch of games there that were exclusive.
Such a bad look
that
too.
People want to play those games. And
Jim Sterling's episode this week was about it's totally morally okay to pirate all of Sony's stuff now. Like, if they don't care enough to be actually able to sell the product to you, then they don't care about it being able to be bought. Therefore, their most powerful argument against piracy, which is a bullshit argument to begin with, has now gone away. So, it's morally fine to pirate Sony, according to Mr. Sterling. I'm sorry. I apologize. Not Mr. Not Mr.
Not Mr.?
No, I apologize to Jim Sterling. For wrong prefix to names there. And my apologies. It was unintentional. They've got to do something, though. They absolutely have to do something. They're pulling chat talking about they're kind of stuck in this 1980s, 1990s Japanese management mindset. And I think there's a little something to that, Jason. They're almost like Nintendo in the way that they're behaving, where, hey, we know what we're doing, and even if it's wildly different, we're going to do it. But I think you're going to find a lot more of those PSNs coming up for renewal that don't get renewed.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to look at the numbers. It said it says 2.2 million subscribers for PlayStation Now, as opposed to 18 million for Game Pass. It's like.
Yeah, it looks like Microsoft found a way to make that sub work that Sony said wouldn't work.
Oh yeah. You gotta love when companies say I remember when game companies would say, "Oh, we can't have our game without a subscription. That won't work," and then they go free to play. I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, I guess we can somehow, magically."
Sitting here trying to remember Jim Sterling's name, Stephanie. I think it's Stephanie. Last up. Little change, Microsoft. Now, I mean, this is just rumor, but this could be a big score on this exact topic.
Right.
The rumors are that we could see Kojima Productions' next big game published by Microsoft for the Xbox. Now, Phil Spencer's been trolling us with his backgrounds for a while, hiding the Xbox S in the background before it was officially revealed, hiding some other things, including the Bethesda nod before that purchase went through. His last stream has the figure that is the logo for Kojima Productions standing on his shelf right next to the Xbox logo. That is what I call a power move, Jason. When you snag a Kojima exclusive away from who you would presumably it'd be a Sony product, in the middle of all this back and forth, that's a big get. If you can get it. This is still rumor, speculation on just Phil Spencer's stream and some other tidbits out there. We should know soon what's going on with Kojima's next title, and that will tell us a lot more. But this would be a hell of a get.
Yeah, but I'm upset that I had to click on a video that said something like insane rumor or whatever. It's like, but yeah, I mean, how many copies did Death Stranding sell? Like how big a deal was? Because I heard like it was either great or it was terrible. So
Well,
I'm
let's
trying to
take a
figure out if Kojima really still has that kind of cash to be a huge, huge, huge deal.
Let's see. We got, according to GameRant, that game was met with positive critical and performed financially. Analysts estimated the game has already sold around 4 million copies. That was as of September 18th, 2020. So shortly after its release, had already surpassed
decent.
the 4 million
it's not
copies
like spectacular, but yeah, I mean, Kojima is more of a name than he is of a game developer at this point. It seems like people are more interested in just hearing about him and the crazy stuff he does than what he puts in his games. I don't know. That's how it seems to me. Unless he makes another Metal Gear, in which case I'll buy it immediately.
In April 2021, publisher 505 Games' parent organization Digital Brothers announced in a financial that the PC release for Death Stranding had generated €23 million, $27 million, in revenue as of December 2020, making it the company's highest-grossing game in 2020. That's the PC version. Kojima stated in May of 2020 that Death Stranding had sold enough to recoup the development costs and turn a profit, securing funding for Kojima's next project. That was as of May last year. Wow. PlayStation Network, the game reached an estimated total of 3 million players, including 390,000 monthly active users as of April 2020. According to Super Data Research estimates, Death Stranding sold 477,000 copies in its first month on Steam. It did well.
It did well.
You don't say.
It did well.
It's not spectacular. So, I mean.
It did well.
All right.
It did well. It's still a big get.
Sure.
That's a huge pull away from Sony, isn't it, Yud?
A little bit.
If it happens. If it happens.
A little bit. I have a feeling it's more of a he's not going to be doing anything exclusive with Sony than a stealing away completely, you know?
We'll see. We'll see. Definitely one I wanted to bring up. We don't have a lot on it besides the speculation, but we'll be watching it. It kind of fit with the Game Pass versus Sony thing that we were discussing.
Right.
Let's head over and do our Games of the Week. I'll go first this time. I'm going to give it to DJ Max Respect on the PC. I just bought a couple of weeks ago, some DLC went on sale. Finally, it's not on sale all that often, so I got a ton more songs to play. It's a blast. If you like rhythm games and you got a PC, definitely a get. And if you can catch it on sale, great, but it's not on sale all that often, and it's still kind of full price, so I understand that might be a setback. But damn, is it a good rhythm game. I love DJ Max. What do you got, Jason?
Have you done that like 3 times? Hasn't it been your game of the week like 3 times already?
No, not yet. Rocket League was twice, though, and I think Outriders was twice, too. No, technically, I think I gave Outriders demo 1 week and then Outriders.
Oh, geez. And then when you do the final version, then we do the deluxe edition.
Hey, man,
give it another
the demo is still outperforming Avengers, so... that's not a lie. Free. Go look at Steam charts. The demo still has more players than crazy. Avengers. What do you got, Jason?
I've been playing the heck out of Enlisted since went to open beta on Thursday. That's the new
Free to
World War
play
II
from
shooter.
Gaijin Entertainment.
Gaijin Entertainment, Darkflow Software. I'm kind of terrible at it, but I occasionally have a good match, and it feels great because you get to shoot like a bunch of AI controlled troops, so you feel like you're really doing something, even though none of them are probably controlled by a human. So
Interesting.
you feel you end a match, you have like 25 kills. You're like, that's great, but see, the top guy had like 80 or something, so it's like, well, yeah.
Keep your eyes on MMOBomb.com this week. Jason will be posting a first look video on Enlisted. If you want to check out that game, you'll be able to do so. First look video. What do you got, Yod?
So I'm gonna go back to Robotech.
Wow, you are going back.
Yes, because this week Harmony Gold and Big West made a deal, and they're able to actually release Macross and Robotech internationally and in the US now. So on the Switch, Robotech.
Let us know in the comments below who had the best recommendation. Chat after the show here. Make sure you hang tight for a few minutes. We'll have the channel go dark for 30 seconds or so, and then we're going to be coming up with our streamer extraordinaire this evening. Mr. Torchwick, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
You finished Fallout last week. What is the verdict?
I don't regret playing it. No, I had fun, but there are points in that I will not do again.
I'm sure they're gonna totally use you for their marketing material. Buy Fallout on sale on Steam. I don't regret playing it. Ready Check Radio.
No, okay. Overall, enjoyable experience, but every now and then there'd be like 15 minutes of pure agony.
Nice. So that means you've got to start up a new game today on games older than me. The only criteria, there's no platform-specific issues here or anything. The only criteria is the game had to have officially released prior to the day you were born. What are we starting off now?
Well, you were talking about Kojima earlier.
Yeah.
Which kind of funny because we're going to be playing Metal Gear Solid.
Ah, the original PS1.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Now, you do own the game. I know because I've bought it for you. But I assume we're going to be playing on an emulator just for ease of use for the stream purposes, right?
Yep. Although, whenever it comes to an emulator, I always try to put the game up on the screen behind me so I can show I own it. So you'll see it doing its thing back there, too.
Sounds good. We'll see you in just a few minutes, and you can enjoy the original Metal Gear Solid. Now, I know you're a huge Metal Gear fan. Have you played the first one at all?
I've beaten the first one multiple times, which is what I want to say something. With the other two games, because I'd never played them before, that was like the whole experience was new to me. I want to try and carry some of that over to this game, so I'm going to be putting up as difficult as it will go because I've never beaten it like that before. I'm not sure how long that will last, but we're going to make an attempt.
Just remember to pick up the SOCOM in the truck off the beginning. You'll be fine. Don't forget that, because you'll screw up later if you don't grab it there. So, chat, hang tight. Yeah, you won't get the goggles. Hang tight. We'll have that stream coming up right after the show. If you're watching on YouTube, of course, come on over live sometime. Check out the show, and then check out Torchwick's stream after the show, and then Tarkoth later in the evening as well. We got a jam-packed weekend for you. Liminality Carb in the mornings, this show, a couple of streams after it, couple of streams tomorrow night. It's always fun here on the weekends on Ready Check Radio. We'll be back next Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern for Gaming Gumbo. Until then, Yod, where can everybody find you?
Yod Artworks on Twitter, Yod Artworks on Facebook, and right here on Gaming Gumbo.
Jason.
On Twitter, Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/JasonWinter.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Radio, RAIDEO, so you'll know exactly when we're going live and you can come hang out with us. Until next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the server. Later.